So Disney's been making live adaptations since 1996, by the looks of this. Great transition. Going through that zero O. Beautiful. Damn. They really trying to do London dirty. I'm like, London kind of do look like this. It is wet, rainy, and cold. Tends to be great too, but it's a Disney movie. They're not even trying with the fonts too. They really want us to feel like it's a depressing dystopia or something. I'm like, real life London doesn't actually look like this, but I'm just saying Disney. Come on now. You're supposed to be the happiest place in the world, Disney. What is this? This is all gloomy and sad. You could have easily edited the back, put some sky in it, make the trees have more green colors to it, put some vibrance in the colors of the houses and everything. Missed that opportunity. I don't know anyone who puts their clock on their bookshelf. Is this a regular thing? Does some people do this? And then the watch falling on the dog? Poor doggy. Okay, Pongo, what you up to? Okay, now you're gonna do some of that. Warm up the bed. Warm up. Pongo is the goat. Like, he's the goat for this. Bro out here opening his. Pongo is the goat here. Look at him. He's basically doing everything. He is the clock. He's waking his owner up. He's making his shower. He's getting his food. He's making his coffee. I'm like, this is. He is the goat. Someone's been killing animals for their fur. I wonder who that is. Here we got Pongo's girl. Pongo and Roger at the park right now, chilling, reading about the incidents and everything. Apparently, this movie is based off of a book. I wasn't aware of that. I knew like Tango, Tarzan, Jungle Book, all of them are from a book, but I wasn't aware that 101 Dalmatian was from there as well, which I'm kudos to, which is pretty cool to know. So are they talking or are they like arguing? I'm gonna say they're just saying hi. Okay. Roger is a game developer in this universe, where he was a musician in the first movie. I don't know, trying to like I kind of like he was more of a musician than a game designer, but since it's like in the 21st century, I guess maybe they kind of made him into a game developer for kids to relate to it. So I don't really think that's a bad idea. So Roger is probably at a looks like a game testing phase. He's getting a kid who's apparently a prodigy at picking what's good or bad game. Having a kid play the game. The kid hits him with some golden wisdom of knowledge. Here comes Deville. I like how they play on the word for that. That cigar stuff is so unnecessary. She did that same thing in the last movie too. And I was like, obviously I should show that she's the villain of the story, but like, the disrespect. And always she always got the immaculate drip, always got that fit. That's a tough fit. I can't even lie. She knows how to wear it. And in this universe, she's actually a CEO of a fashion conglomerate, so she's doing great for herself. The first one, I had no idea how she was making her money, but this one elaborates a little bit more into it. So I'm like, that's actually a great way of at least having some background for this villain, and a good add to this movie and adding to the story and overall arc. Because they did a good job of that in the first one, because we didn't know how Cobello was making her money or anything. He just kind of came and went. But this one, now we know she's a freaking CEO making millions. And it kind of makes perfect themes with her as well. She was fashionable in the first movie. I'm pretty sure in the book they explain it to you, but this one explains it to you way more, up in your face. And Leah, whatever her name is, works with Covella in the business, which makes even more sense. It makes them more intertwined together instead of just being college buddies like the last one. This is more believable and more realistic in my opinion, and it works better together in a whole story cohesiveness wise as well. The fact that she's a fashion designer even makes better sense. I don't remember what she was doing in the first one. Like, what was her job? I don't remember that. How was so say? What was the dropping that clothes on the floor? Like, come on now.
It's only true love, darling. I live for fur. I worship fur.
Yeah, I keep those dogs away from her.
A woman in all this wretched world who doesn't.
Yeah, I can't blame it. Alonso deserved to get yelled right there. But also, Covella should have given more context.
The drawing.
But she wanted the paper on her hand.
Take the drawing from Anita and hand it to me. Is that difficult?
Yeah, I'm gonna let that slide. I'm letting a lot of stuff slide. So Disney movie, I can't be, too serious about this.
I'm letting it slide.
As long as we keep it somewhat grounded, we're fine.
What is?
She lives for first, she worships first. I don't know, the way she's portraying herself, she seems like a psychotic person. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a mental disorder she has or something. But we need that. Seems to go therapy, but we need a villain story, so keep going. The actor is doing great portraying the character, making it look too, cartoonish. Especially the last. Now Pongo, we go back to Pongo. He's sitting, laying on a bench, seeing his true mate. And the other one, he was trying to get Roger, who Pongo considered him to be a pet, ironic, and was trying to find Roger a mate, hence why he was chasing in the park in the first one. But this one, looks like Pongo was looking for his own girl. Yeah, where the camera is set on her, yeah. or try to make his move. He said nope. So Roger comes out of his meeting, ties Pongo up on his bicycle, and they go trying to go back home. And then Pongo's like, no, I gotta go get I gotta find my soulmate. So watch me. So God, Lee. I mean, this scene is funny. I like it. So and he's breaking and he's running through the break. That's even crazy. The bicycle's smoking right now. Realistically, this chase would have got him killed. Roger would be hurt, broken, battered, or severely injured from this. Even death. I'm like getting hit by a car is nothing to laugh at. And but since it is a movie, like again, we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide because it's supposed to be fun and goofy over the top, I guess. Hopefully, it keeps it realistic, but I don't think it is that. Bongo, Bell is not stopping. He is locked in right now. He's going for the girl. Y'all, Roger, you should be worried about yourself right now because man, take a swan dive. Poor Roger. How is he even running it? It's like Will's not even lunch anymore. Yeah, if I was him, I'll be mad too. I did just get skulled by a freaking 12-year-old kid telling me some bars, and now my own dog just ruined my day. And then like pause here, like that suit, that suit should be way more wet. Like he's whole, I mean, he's not really wearing a suit, like a whole one suit pair. He's just wearing like a blazer, but everything he's wearing right now should be soaking wet. Unless they show us like a 2 second panel of him getting blown by a dust or a big wind or someone holding one of those blow air blowers to break in lifts together, and we didn't see any of that. So maybe they should have added that into the movie to make it better. That would have made it more reasonable to say like, oh, like he should be way wet, but he actually got blown by one of those leaf blowers, so it's actually more dried up because of that. That would have been more believable, but for the sake of Disney, we will. For the sake of this movie, I'm like presuming taking a chill. Damn, I got the hell out.
Release my dog or I'll hit you again.
Your dog?
Yes, that is my dog. Will you let it go?
Well,
Roger.
My name's Anita. Yours is Roger. I read it on your dog's identification tag.
She's making some move on her, but Roger's too cool to see it.
Nice meeting you.
That's what I'm kind of getting.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I'm like, at least get a contact information for the dog, bro. If your dog likes you, they can mate, Roger, oh my gosh. That's fine, bro. He's clearly mad after the meeting with the kid and getting soaked in water. So Roger did.
You should call your doctor.
I'll be fine. Good luck with your break.
At first, now his lady is reciprocating. That's a good green flag right there. And that brings them together. Surprised he invited them to their house. Good move, Roger. Good move. Would you like some cup of marriage?
Do you want another cup of marriage?
Moon.
Tea? Another cup of tea?
Said marriage.
She's crazy enough to say yes to it.
You said, I mean, you meant to say tea, but it came out marriage.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want another cup of tea?
Yo, you're on fire. And just like that, you get married. I wish the way I would go with this one is like I would probably have a couple of panels or a small little montage, just giving time to Roger and this woman right here. I don't know her name, Alita, whatever. Like I'll just have her names. Sometimes I remember names. I won't. It's just what it is. I would give them time to breathe with their romantic interest. So maybe use the dog as an excuse to have them meet up and get to sit and talk, and then that talk becomes more, grab dinner, and then slowly escalate to a full-blown relationship. The relationship is happening this quickly right now. It's kind of realistic. They could even just spend like 2-3 minutes just a montage of stuff like that, and the story would have more depth to it. I personally would have probably preferred if they did that, but for them to just men and now they're in love, I'm like, that's very quick stuff. It's kind of unrealistic. Hold every dog from the town here. What the world? Same thing with this watch right here. Sometimes I'll be critical, sometimes I won't. I'm not really that consistent with it. Well, I probably should be. With this watch tower right here, church with the watch tower, again, like I don't know if not photography, what do you call it? Photoshop. Photoshop was should be a thing by then. 1996 should be a thing. But, just make the building look a lot more nicer. Give it more color to it, give more vibrance to it. Right now it just looks like a regular church. Looks slightly tiled, a little bit damaged, and everything slightly uneven. Yeah. I don't know if Photoshop was a thing or not, but they could have easily done that, made it look a little bit better. But it's fine. Just nitpicking at this point. And of course, we get our two friendly jokers. Yo, is that Ron's dad? Yo, you're in the wrong universe, bro. What are you doing here? You're in the wrong universe, bro. You got Ron to go look after. Oh, you know what? It's going to be before he got accepted to Hogwarts, so it's actually before his time. Makes sense. All right, let's continue. Remember, there's two things you must know in there.
One, do
And, bro.
the star on his neck. Two, don't talk to him. Understand not a word. Oh, look at the size of that scar. No
Yeah, well deserved. He literally just told you what not to do and you just did it. Scarface guy, scary. He wasn't in the first movie, but I think his character is well needed in this version. I'm presuming they all work for Coppola. Yeah. It's a really realistic looking tiger fur. I hope they didn't actually kill a real tiger for this. He definitely has a thing for fur. What's his name? Our butler is definitely an accomplice. He's just watching this. I'm like, he knows there's a tiger that got killed. It's been all over the news, so he definitely would. He should have been turning her in, unless he just like doesn't want to, or maybe she's like knowing him. The way I would have handled that in that situation, I would have been like, you need to step out. Cause I think he was standing there. Yeah, he's standing there. He's standing there in the little next to the door. So he pretty much seen and heard everything. I'm like, that's a blunder we can't let that slide. Bro's literally standing there next to the door, watching her put the fur in. Look at his face. Your game is so boring, even the dog gets bored. Granny hitting with the golden wisdom.
It's the look every woman gets when she knows she's going to be a mother. Notice how tranquil she is, as well as herself. She's eating more. And every now and again, for no reason other than she's so happy with herself, she sighs. So different. Oh, my goodness. What is it, Annie? Anita, I think you're going to have a puppy.
Surprise! They're both having kids. Anita, you're going to have a puppy. Yeah, I wouldn't word it that way. That doesn't sound natural. Did she just invite herself in the house? Or did the grandma let her in? The Govella basically just comes in to do a checkup, learns about them getting pregnant, learns about the puppies, dogs giving them a bark, and she leaves. How much she pisses off Roger. That's pretty much it. Now we got the puppies coming into the world. Yeah, this version is not stress smoking. I'm like, maybe they should have. Maybe because it's realistic and him smoking a pipe kind of promotes smoking. I don't know. Maybe because the time difference from the first movie to this movie is like long enough where smoking has been kind of like tabooed. Yeah. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, usually the smoking that pipe gives more characters, more character depth to Roger, but this version of him is not even a musician, so that's a different time, so that's fine. Like always, we'll let it slide. How can he be so calm? Great, we got the two jokers here. What's the point of them even being here? They don't do anything. They're just sneaking around and seeing if the puppy's been born. So what? Like they can tell Coppola about it. Like those eventually gonna figure it out. Follows the script from the animation one, where one of the puppies doesn't make it, and then Roger does some CPR or whatever, bring back to life. But though animated version was way cooler because there was more motion and there was more hype and there's more energy to that scene. This one, the scene's kind of maybe the actor didn't do a great job on it. It's a hologram actor, but it's always she should have been more sadder and more hyped when the puppies were born, and sad when this puppy, which is going to be named Lucky, seems like it's dead. Yeah. This scene I feel like would have been way scarier if they kind of just went straight to her already being in the house and the door being open and the lightning hitting right as the panel changed. It would have been way more impactful and way more fearful. The fact that the lightning kind of comes in like a minute later, not a minute later, but a couple of seconds later, and it's not as to it, and then we just see a shadow, and it takes a couple of seconds before she hovers over that and opens the door, and the door is just left open, which is crazy. She barges in the last time as well, when she came to check up on Alita, whatever her name is. How I know someone's gonna get this talking, whatever her name is, saying Alita and straight up saying whatever her name is right after. I know someone's definitely gonna be mad about that. Don't get mad. Look at her. You've come into some money, have you? Did you design some silly game that will drive the delinquent kiddies into frenzies? The actor is killing it. Like she's been doing a great job. I'm liking Paula DeVille. This person playing it really nice. Transitioning from an animation to a live adaptation is like very hard because some of the things you can do with animation, the weird characteristics and the weird face you can make, you can't really transfer that to real life without making it look really, really silly and goofy. But she's been doing it good enough at this point where I'm not like, oh, why is it like cheesy and cartoony too much? So she's doing a great job. She really wants to buy the dog, though. Really wants to puppy, paying them money. She puts it for what? $7,500. I'm like, at that time, I guess it would have been like a lot more, but that's literally nothing. Yeah, like it would have been $7,500. It's gonna have to be more than that, I'm like, if she really wants a puppy, give them $1 million, write them $1 million, or $100K, $500K, something outlandish. They can't say no to that. They will, but that's fine. No, $7,000, maybe $10K. I mean, you want to have some big numbers to let them know like she's serious. Oh, see, now that's what I'm talking about. That emotional beat right there, like the yelling and the lightning hitting the perfect time. That is like absolutely cinema, and you feel that because everybody else reacting to it. Even I felt that. And I don't get jump scared like boom. people who were there like are super scared. You as the audience are scared if you saw that, especially if you were a kid. That right there, how the introduction to her coming to the house should have been, and her yelling right there. That's the emotional beat and then the timing you want, and that was done beautifully by the director. Yeah, there's some Megan Philadelphia. Cool. The two Jokers are so funny. He's waving at her as he's going away. They're watching some movies. The grandma comes in with a dog collar. They're eating the puppies.
Dipstick?
Fidget?
Two-tone? I know. You all like it.
Where's my boy? Yo, where's my boy? Where's my boy Hungry at? Yo, they did not just take Hungry out of this. I'm pretty sure they have in there, but come on now. They should be emphasizing Hungry. Hungry. We love Hungry. That boy's so cute and adorable. Where he at? Like this. Totally not suspicious. Haha. So they were taking a midnight run. Because in the first movie, I was like, were they taking a midnight run or a morning walk? Like, which one was it? It looks like they're doing a night walk. So, were they doing in the first movie too? The two Jokers were watching them? I could have. It's hard to tell in the first one because of the art style. I don't know what's more. This is more believable because they literally break into their house, they put her in a closet, and they take the dog and leave. But I feel like they could have easily tried being the electricianist. It's a good plot too. They're gonna be like, hey, we're just here to fix the electricity thing up. Minus letting us in the house. They come in the house. They push her in a room, lock her up, and take the dog and death. I think I've done either or. I feel like this is much more smoother, more faster, and transactional, and just less time wasted. Because like, oh, we just say we're here to rob you, pushing you to the corner, rob you, bye bye, have a good day. We put a mask on, you don't know you're not safe anymore. So this is probably a way better choice to do. But that dog barking let Pongo and his wife know that the kids were gone. They show up at the house, kids gone. Now I'm presuming the dogs have some degree of intelligence. They walk up when their name's called, they do things, and they're doing stuff that kind of makes like that shows some degree of intelligence. And it sounds like they're speaking their own language, even though they're not really doing a voice over their words. Right now, I get the dog mother is in their side, called up there, but I'm expecting Pongo to go outside and like use his nose to smell where the kids are, like to do something, like do the Twilight bark. He's not doing any of that right now. He's kind of just resting with this thing. But, story-wise, it would have been much more consistent if he went outside and was just like doing the Twilight bark, or he was trying to sniff something up, trying to get any clue, and wasn't in a state of hurry or panic. I guess he's kind of there supporting his wife, the dog, and I guess being with her, laying down right now. You can see, logically, it probably would have been better if the mother goes sit there and he goes out. Maybe it would have been harder to do that because I don't know if these are presumably these are real dogs that they train to act. So probably because of that they did that, but yeah.
Did you catch the puppies?
Affirmative.
All of them.
Every single one.
My faith in your limited intelligence.
What a beautiful insult.
You are too kind, madam.
Oh, that was like dripped out. She dripped out. She got the fast end. 99 dogs.
And I have my cozy puppy coat. I'll be
I think she's playing it perfectly so far. I know I keep saying this, but she's doing a great job of it. She's not laughing. Not too like, ha ha ha. It's more like it's not too cartoony, but not too unrealistic. The poor puppies are being transported to castle or the mansion, and this dog sees them. But that's nice, it's actually nice. I like that. The building looks amazing. The snow with it. I don't know if it's a real place or if they just did like a fake cardboard outline of it, but it looks really good. Yeah, the aesthetic is nice, creepy. Something like a Covella would live in. They formed a cop. Yeah, so he's doing that Twilight Park where he forms other dogs and other dogs will inform the other dogs and so on and so forth, creating like a network of dogs talking to each other and helping each other out. This should have happened way sooner, but when I'm thinking about maybe Pongo was waiting for the human police to do something about it first. Maybe his last resort was the dogs then. But I still would have wanted Pongo to do this earlier because if he did this earlier, plus the cops getting informed, that's double the search, double the results, and you could have found your kids even quicker through that process. But I always think I guess they're doing this after. But I would after like Pongo noticed his kids were gone, he should immediately start sniffing, or the dog has a high sense of smell, and usually have good tracking, and you know what kid smells like, or where the intruder smells like, or he should have after that just immediately gone outside and started doing the Twilight Bark. Like, hey, my kids are gone. Can anyone look for them? Everybody in the town have like an alert system. Watch out for 15 kids. All the dog gets their information. The dogs are all spreading their information. London is going crazy right now. Every dog is barking in London now. I don't need to get into the rural area where the colonel is. this time there's more animals. Even a woodpecker. Is that a woodpecker? So that brown dog saw it, so he's giving them the information. Oh, cool. They kept the cat too. You know, one thing I wish this film. I think that takes away from this film. One of my major critiques from this film is definitely the animals not having a dub over them or hearing the animals' voice. I think that would have enhanced this movie to a higher rating and make it even more better. I don't know if they didn't have the technology back then, or that wasn't a thing back then because it was created in 1996. I don't know if they thought about that back then, or no one was doing that. But they were like, this would have been way much better because I think throughout this from this half of the movie, because we're halfway through the movie, from this half of the movie all the way to the end, it's mostly just watching the dogs, and every point of the movie you're like, if they were able to speak to themselves, or if you're the animals talking to each other, the story would have been so much more engaging, so much more in depth to it. But you're just kind of rubbing your head trying to figure out what are they saying, what are they doing, and it kind of takes away from it. I feel like if they did add voiceover to it, and now the animals talking, you hear their voices, this film would have been way much better. Could have been way better. Because like I feel like the last half does take away from the story, especially because it follows the dogs more, and I have no idea what they're talking or saying, and I'm just kind of watching a silent movie at that point, which just pets and dogs running around and animals running around, and then there might be some words here and there from the villains, not so much in it. And that kind of does take away from the story. So another dog finds them. Imagine how great this scene would be if they could just talk to each other, or like give them some information, or some voiceover over them. It's like, hey, we find a dog, go this way, this way, so thank you so much, and then they keep on running now. I would have been way more emotionally invested into it. I would have been way more engaged with it. Now, but just hearing things, somebody sleep. Are you sleeping on the floor? Oh my gosh, he is sleeping on the floor. And he gets the couch. I presume there's like chairs. You could easily sit on a chair and sleep, Quiet down, dogs. We don't want to wake them up. Scary. He's definitely scary. I'm glad they added him to this movie. Him just breathing and like not talking, but scratching his lip gives him such an intimidating presence. Like he kind of doesn't fit into the story because the story's been much more lighthearted and more, not too grim and dark. They could have just made him have like some sort of funny factor where like he's like this cool killer, but he loves collecting dolls or something. That's a major security flaw. So there was an extra chair and a table for him to sit on. So why was he sitting on the ground? Why couldn't he just like sit on that table and put his face on the table and just wrap his arm around his face and then go to sleep on the table? Okay. Maybe bro likes the hard, cold floor more. And we'll be right back at our show. Are you smarter than a bird? And no, you're not. Where's my boy Hungry, bro? See, the dogs are the main attraction of the story, but the other dogs feel like they're side characters because they can't talk, or they can talk, but not with our language. Really does dictate from the story. Stay. Fight. Okay. We gotta pause right there. Come on now. Ain't no way, bro. Bro just slided from there and broke a whole concrete brick and shot down to the ground like that. He should have stopped at the concrete wall. Unless you're telling me it's like brutal and broken because how old that building is. But okay. Okay, we'll let that slide. So what we're not going to do is let that slide. What is this? What is this? He's frozen in time now? What the world is this? He should be dead then. He should be dead to have that. That never happens in real life. What is that? Now we're going into some uncharted territory of comedic humor. This is a little bit. This is passing the bar. This is like crossing the line a little bit. Not even a little bit. I think a lot this way. I'm like, come on now, come on. Like maybe in a magical world this makes sense, but not this. Not this. Come on. We could do so much better with that. We got to so he's like shaking he's like jumping and rubbing his arms and everything, and he's super cold. And he's running from the house or something like that. But like him just freezing there like a statue, a little unrealistic. And Camilla, let's see what our big bad is doing. She's driving like a crazy maniac. Pulls up. Good evening. Okay, puppies are escaping. They're being helped by the dogs to go there. Lucky's not lucky this time. Or maybe he actually did it to himself. Yo, aura, scary, intimidation, power, oof, pure aura. This is supposed to be a kids movie. Is that the Colonel? Not even listen to a dog, bro. You're that scary, and one dog takes you out. Not even like a scary dog, just like a little cute dog like him. You was cold, now you hot. They got her, guys. They got her. They got her. Now, even if she did try to run away, they would always try to get her. Now they know. No matter what she does, they're gonna get her ass. Even if she gets away with the unaliving the dog. That's Gigi. When the cows find out, that's Gigi. Family got to the farm. The kids are feeding. But surprise, there's like more than 15. Congratulations, Pongo. You've got a big family now. Good luck with that. Here comes the big bad. The car is nice there. kind of like Clark also feels like a part of Cobell at this point. Puppies are hiding. Cobell they heard it. Crows give them a heads up. She's like just on the farm. Okay, let's see what we got. She's on the prowl. Let's see what they got. Ooh, yo, that horse kick right there on that. That's at least a broken rib. That's at least some minor injuries. She thinks she got them, and it's kind of funny that she has like a little pitchfork right now. Look at that. Great quote.
Darling, red isn't your color. Give me the hat.
They're getting baited left and right this whole film. What is that? Is that like I'm presuming it's like feed. It's like yeah, I'm presuming it's like something to feed the animals, or is it like actual like waste? You know, if someone knows who that is, what is that? Well, shouldn't Ron's dad be cold right now? He'd be like shivering, unless that shows the lightning warmed him up. This man just went from having all that aura to no aura. She's losing it. She's losing it.
In a moment, I'll have what I came for. While all of you will end up as sausage meat, alone on some sad plastic plate. Dead and medium red. No friends, no family, no pulse. Just left between two buns. Smiling and onions with fries on the side. Cruella de Vil has to laugh and laugh.
Yo. Woo. If there was no mud, that would have been some damage. Uh-oh. Okay, she gets arrested. The police, I'm like, they don't really find them. The doctor comes to them anyway. Look at Lucky, always coming to the party late. 101. Woo. Roll credit. Oh my god. That's some funny stuff. So they all go arrested, and they're having a nice, scientific day. The story's pretty much wrapped up by now. I wish oh, I'll save it for later, but let's just get to it. Surely the other puppies have moms and dads somewhere out there.
Well, your dogs were the only ones with identification tags. We have no idea which puppy goes where.
Roger gets the idea. It's that kid again that was reviewing his game. And this time, the game is actually scary. Because, guess what? Dun dun dun! Roger has his kid. And apparently the dog's kids have kids, and their kids already have kids. And I'm like, damn. And look at this. Roger has a mansion in the middle of the countryside. And, oh, wait. And the house has, like, spots on it, too. Which is nice. Nice touch. And I'm presuming they photoshopped this. They could have photoshopped London and some of the other scenes they had. Come on now, Disney, what is this? Unless you're telling me this house actually is a real house somewhere in the countryside or exists in real life and has a spot on it. Which I'm presuming is maybe a possibility. Roger is now a millionaire. From one game, guys. What is that telling you? Theme of the movie: become a video game developer, make the best game in the world, and voila, you're rich. Roll the credits. The end. And okay, so what I did like about this story is okay. Now let's give it a rating. For me, I would give it a. Oh man, let me see. It's definitely have to be a 4 out of 10 for me. You know what I like about it was that it's a real life adaptation and it was made in 1996, so it still holds its test of time. But you know what I didn't like about it is just that the first half of the story was great. It was doing good. There was people talking. Dogs were some parts to the story, but their communication was not a problem. Then we get to the second half of the story, and the second half of the story just felt rushed. Not much was happening. You know, especially compared to the first one. First one, second half was amazing. It was like car chase. They disguised themselves. You were hearing the dog talk. And this one, you didn't hear any of the dog talk, so most of them were just silent, like just moving from one dog to another, and you were just like watching those minds do their thing. And you had context obviously of things we're doing, but them not talking took away so much from the story. I wish they would have done like a voiceover or something. And also, felt like it was rushed. Nothing much was happening. We felt like, oh, like Cabela got to the door. Cabela came to her, not her home, like a place where she used a dog. Goes there, they tell her the dog went away. Then she finds the dogs at the barn and gets kicked around, trapped, and slimed, and kicked again. And boom, cop shows a picture up, and then the two jokers found themselves in the middle of nowhere and got arrested. And then the guy who's like scary got beat by a dog and got freaking arrested too. And pretty much that's it. And the dog found their way back home. And not much happened in the second half, compared to the first one where like so much was happening. They were going on undercover chase. They stayed on the end. It felt a long process. It felt like a long journey that they took under. Where this one they just kind of went so quickly like a snap. And that's usually takes away especially when things move like that quickly. You kind of want people to feel like progression is happening, and that just happened like so quickly. I was like, oh, that's it. The cop showed up and the rest of I was like, oh, that's it. Like I thought there was gonna be more. That's how it left me. Because of that, I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 10. Still a good story because the first one is just like they change all the stuff around it, which adds to it and takes away from it. If someone were to watch it, I would still say go ahead and watch it. But in my personal opinion, they could have done so much better to it. And 4 out of 10, still nothing to sneeze at. But Not better than the first one. Definitely not better than the first one. But there's a lot of adaptations. There's a lot of limit to it, so I wouldn't put it down more than that. But from that, that's pretty much it for today. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't, let me know what you didn't like about it. And at the end of the day, this is all my opinions. It's just to archive the story for myself and people in the future maybe who want to see it. And that's pretty much it. And I probably skipped a lot of stuff. I probably missed a little stuff. But I'm not here to catch everything. I'm just trying to enjoy and archive things. And that's pretty much it. So if you like, let me know why you liked it. If you didn't, let me know why you didn't like it. And don't forget to subscribe and let me know what the big important thing. If anyone knows what that stuff that she fell into, there was, just let me know. I'm presuming it's feed, but it could be something else. I always like to know what things are, so I'm gonna just look it up. But now I'm going to rent. But anyway, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.